Welcome to Desert Life with Maria. I'm Maria DeRosa, and today the star roll goes to blueberries. Yes, this is our star for today. Now, blueberries, stardom, and what's so great. So I'm going to give you a little history because as we're in the middle of summer, this star, a blueberry, deserves all the fame, all the notoriety, and if you join hands with a blueberry, you're going to be feeling good right away. So this little guy has been around over 13,000 years. Native America was where this little bush of blueberries, well, this is the end product, was found. But amazing is that in the last 2 to 5 years, 40 different nutritionists throughout the United States were all asked to do some research on over 40 fruits and vegetables. And the number one that came up as an antioxidant, blueberry. Therefore, I think it deserves the Hall of Fame for today on the show. And one little small half cup of blueberries is less than 50 calories. How great is that? So, what are we gonna bake with it today? Simple, easy breezy, because I'm all about good food, superfood, quick and easy to go. We are making a blueberry oat bran muffin. So we're gonna start off with our dry ingredients, and I'm going to quickly dust off my hands even though they've already been washed. So we're going to start off with some dry ingredients, and what we're going to do with our dry ingredients is we're going to put them all into a bowl and then lightly sift them with one of my favorite utensils, the whisk. So let's start off with steel oats. We need 1.5 tablespoons of steel oats. I like the raw organic kind that I can pick up at either at Trader Joe's or so a little bit more there. Okay, 1.5. So we got that done. Then we're gonna use a really good gluten-free flour. It can be coconut, it can be almond flour. I happen to have coconut flour, which I like for baking a lot, the flavor profile, and we need 3/4 cup of that. So I'm going to take one, here's a 1/4 cup here, 2, and 3. Okay, so that's my flour. Notice, it doesn't have to be perfect, just right around what we need. So we're putting these aside. And then we need 2 teaspoons of lemon peel. I've already grated it, I let it dry, and since I know more or less what that is, it's like 3 pinches for me. I'm putting that in there. Kind of done with that one. Then we need some baking powder, 1 teaspoon. All this will be in the comments when I put the recipe for you, so don't worry about taking notes now. Just kind of fun to watch and see what's gonna happen here. Put that in, 1 teaspoon. And then lastly, we're using a really good protein powder. Now you can do this with vanilla and other ones, but depending on the protein powder you're using, you may need a lot more. One of my favorites is the products from Isalean. They make a lot of whole plant-based food protein powder. This is plant-based, it's blueberry. Oh my gosh. It's just amazing. This just came out and I'm really, really enjoying it. So now we're gonna have blueberry added to blueberry, and we're using 2 scoops. One of the nice thing about this is that it has no additional sugars added to it. It's naturally sweetened with a molasses extract. So all of the ingredients here are plant-based, and the processing is unbelievable. Always researched by scientists and double checked. It's just great. I like that company. So we're going to move on now, and I'm going to move this over These are gonna be our wet ingredients. I'm gonna stick our dry ones behind me here. And what do we do with our dry ingredients? We lightly, you can kind of zero in, I'm gonna have you look. We're lightly whisking our dry ingredients with our whisk. So they're all kind of like now stirred together. You can kind of see it's a little lumpy. And while that's sitting, we're gonna prepare our wet ingredients. So for our wet ingredients, and we're gonna put these over here behind me. So we're done. We are going to start off with some almond milk, a half cup. I'm gonna put this into another bowl. So there's a half cup of almond milk. We need 1 egg. For those of you that don't wanna have eggs at all, in this you can use yogurt, a 1/4 cup of yogurt. You can use a half of banana, but we're gonna put that in there. Whoops, there's an eggshell in there too. All right, then we're going to 2 tablespoons of raw organic honey. And guess what I just realized that is missing? My applesauce. Yes, so I'm going to go grab that from the pantry while you are looking at my wet ingredients. I'm back! Every good cook forgets something once in a while, and we are not perfect, but we're really good foodie lovers. Okay, so 1 small unsweetened thing of applesauce is going in there. And notice I'm just kind of stirring it around with my spatula here. Then I have my honey, or not, this is not my honey. Look it, I made a mess. I'm really having a good day, huh? This is my butter, 2 tablespoons of Earth Balanced butter. So you can tell that I probably need a 2nd cup of coffee by now. Okay, so I have all my wet ingredients. Of course, I'm a little sloppy right now, but that's okay because I know how to clean up my kitchen. All right, so we're putting that back on there. And we are now going to take these wet ingredients. I'm gonna move them all over here. And we're gonna add that to our dry. So we're gonna put that in here, a little bit at a time, whisk it around, and you'll notice it's gonna start to get a little lumpy. So now we're gonna add the rest of the wet ingredients. And if your whisk is like mine, you gotta play with it a little bit. So we're gonna push this out, and now we're gonna move and mix, and it's gonna be very lumpy. There you go. A nice lumpy mix. Just make sure everything's blended. Now, where does this go? What about the blueberries? La la! Our star needs to be part of this, so we put in the stars at the very end because we don't want them too squished. Whoa! I'm having a good morning here. And we're gonna put that in here. And let me wipe this up. Don't you like to know that not every cook is good at what they do? They tend to be messy once in a while. All right, so now we have our recipe. We then take a muffin pan, and if you noticed, I lightly sprayed this with a very good cooking spray that's organic. And the reason I did that is because once it goes into the oven, they won't stick. All right, this helps the paper from unfolding in a beautiful way, and you don't worry about the stickiness being on the paper. So you can take your hands, or if you want to be perfect, you can use, you know, the spatula and a spoon. But basically, you're just going to kind of fill each one 3/4 of the way. And this is going to go into the oven. And I like to use my hands, as you can see. It makes it more fun, especially with kids. It really makes it fun. And you can fill it practically all the way. And they don't have to be perfect if you want it squished down and super, nice and firm. But I like it to look very homemade. So that's what they're gonna look like. They're gonna go into the oven at 350 for 20 minutes. When they're done, our final product. Notice that the paper comes out really easily. And like I said, I like to make it look very homemade and not perfect. You could form these so that it'd be really great. And you're asking me, well, what's on top? I took a little bit of organic vanilla yogurt and I just drizzled it on top. You can have it plain. You can add a little bit of jelly or jam because these together are less than 250 calories. They've got 24 grams of protein built into them because you used a really good protein powder and almond flour, so you've got everything you need to start your day. And that is our recipe, with me not being too perfect in the kitchen, which is okay. So any suggestions, comments, put them down below. Recipe will be there. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week. And I definitely need some of the energy from this because it was kind of funky today when I was in the kitchen. See you later.